Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Out on another trip, out in the middle of the trail. It's the weekend before Thanksgiving, and planned this trip for a few weeks and was actually headed out to the Smoky Mountains today. And late last night, I checked my email, and the Pisgah National Forest is almost completely opened up. So, made an alternative plan, and I'm right now in the middle of the Pisgah National Forest. It's a long way for where I live in Chapel Hill to get out to the Great Smoky Mountains, so only doing a two-nighter here. So what better way than to go up in the Pisgah National Forest in northwest North Carolina. So not quite so far for a trek for me. So it's been a while since I've been out, so I really want to just get out, do some camping, hiking down to the creek here, and don't know what to expect when I get down to the creek. You know, we're about 1 month past, actually 2 months past Hurricane Helene. It did go through this area. I had to go a different route to get here, so that was actually pretty cool. We'll talk about that later, some things I saw. Never been on some of those roads, so that was pretty cool. But anyway, I'm going to finish this hike in, and we'll touch base later. And by the way, if this is the first time you're checking in on my channel, thanks for checking in. And if you like what you see, subscribe. And many more adventures coming in the future. Well, I'm still in the trail, and it's been a little slow going. The deadfall's not too bad, but when you get to the deadfall, it's an adventure getting around it, actually over it and under it. The Forestry Service hadn't been back in here. So, but that's okay. I mean, who cares if they never come back in here to cut the trees? Just let the natural deterioration, take its toll on it. But maybe another 30 minutes to go here. But it's just such a gorgeous day out here. Water's just crystal clear. It's a little cold out right now, probably mid 30s, I guess. But anyway, we'll keep walking, and hopefully the spot I want to camp is not taken. So we'll check in later. We'll keep going. Well, I made it to camp. This is an absolutely beautiful camp spot. I'm actually about 50 yards away from the very first backcountry camping trip I ever did. About a little over 3 years ago I did that. I probably would have camped in the exact same spot, but there's a massive tree I'll show later that's right over there. Deadfall from Helene that came through here, and it kind of blocks the view of the creek. Because I got the creek right here, set up a fire, build a fire pit back over here later, pretty much over here. I'm going to do my tent because there is going to be quite a bit of wind. It was gusting pretty hard when I first got here, but it's not blowing very hard right now. But I don't want the tent, close to the fire. So, but yeah, it's really cool. I had this massive boulder here, so cleaned it off. It was covered with leaves and some dirt, but cleaned it off. Unloaded my my backpack in there. It's amazing. I can put all that stuff in a 60-liter backpack, but got actually some extra gear. And one of those stuff sacks there is a set of down long johns that my mother-in-law and father-in-law gave me about, 15 years ago, for hunting, deer hunting and stuff. They are so warm. Whenever I car camp, disperse camping somewhere in the winter, which is usually what I do, I put those on and sleep in those. So I was able to compress them into that stuff sack. So that's going to be very nice in the tent tonight. My sleeping bag is rated for comfort at 20 degrees. I think -7 survival rating. So I should be fine there. So But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get this tent set up. I need to gather a lot of firewood. It's gonna be in the 20s tonight. So it's going to get pretty chilly, but good campfire will certainly keep me warm and just chill out here. It's I think it's right at 3 o'clock, and I didn't have any intention of fishing today at all because I knew it was going to be cold and a little bit cloudy. It was sunny earlier, but it's gotten really cloudy now. There's no rain, at least that I'm aware of in the forecast, but it has gotten real cloudy. But anyway. Well, what an amazing spot here, and like I said, the water's right there. I'll have a campfire going in about an hour or less, and it's gonna be a good evening. So anyway, we'll check back in later. Actually, do a little sneak peek of the creek here. A couple of nice little runs right here. Maybe there's a few wild brown in there, but you can see how Helene came through here. I mean, this whole area here was just covered with water. Look at all the trees that came down. And you can see this all down through here as well. But it was definitely an interesting hike in. The deadfall wasn't as bad as I thought, but when you saw it, yeah, you had to, climb over, climb under. Actually, there was a section of the trail that I couldn't even go down, so I had to actually get in the creek. I had my waders on already because you got to cross the creek a few times. But I got down in the creek and then hiked down the creek, which is a pain in the butt with 45 pounds on your back. But I hiked down the creek until I could get back up on the trail. So, so it took me longer to get here, but no big deal. Anyway, let's get the tent set up and chill for the evening. Potential problem here. Good thing I got everything closed. That tent was about to blow off. So these are what's going to help me keep really warm tonight. And like I said, it's going to be in the 20s, wind's blowing. So just to make sure, I brought these down long johns. They're amazing. All right, so I thought about something else. Some hot hands. So there's no reason to be cold when you're out here. So I'm actually going to open these two and put 2 of them in my sleeping bag when I go to bed at night. So that'll give some extra warmth. So I might actually get too hot with the combination of the base layer, the down sleeping bag, the down long johns, and then the hot hands in it. And of course the tent blocks the wind. So we'll see if I wake up in the middle of the night hot. So, but anyway, it's a good experiment to try out. These are all simple things that don't weigh much of anything. You know, the down long johns, the hot hands. So might as well be comfortable when I'm out here. All right, got plenty of firewood, so let's make a fire pit. I think I'll use these 2 rocks. Well, maybe not. That's kind of sloping downhill. I'm going to keep it flat. God. Try to get 2 at a time to speed up the process. It's probably a good 50, 60 pounds between 2 of them. I have to cut this tree. It's kind of blocking my vision, and I might run into it later. No longer cold now. Actually, I wasn't cold. It was getting a little cold when I first got here. I got a little sweaty, so I took the shirt off that was getting a little wet, and then put some other stuff on. And so I don't want to get doing too much here. I definitely don't want to get sweaty. So just chill for a bit. Looking pretty good. I think that'll do it. A couple of small rocks. All right, let's make a fire. Oh, I'll tell you, what I'm doing right now doesn't get any better than this. Out in the middle of nowhere. And I tell you, I don't think anybody's going to be coming out here. Can probably count on one hand the number of times I've seen people come out here. Ooh, I just saw a nice brown trout just run through that run down there. It's so clear, you don't need polarized glasses to see anything. Tomorrow it's supposed to get up in the 50s and be a perfect sunny day. You know, I'll definitely have to be stealthy because the water's so clear. But, it's going to be really cold tonight. I'm thinking midday tomorrow they may start moving. I'm very curious to see how this is going to fish after Helene. It's small up here, so, this is up in the higher elevation, so all the muck is going to be, way, way down where this thing drains. All right. It's time to make a fire. Stay out here in this part of Pisgah National Forest by this creek, especially this place right here. Anytime you have a lot of rain, the water comes up here and it kills these young, firs. I think they're black balsam, and they're just everywhere. And you just push them down about the size of your arm, some of them about the size of your leg. And some of them are even smaller, and they have all these little small twigs. So it's so easy to get firewood around here. Of course, you can find some hardwood too. There's plenty of it right now, and there's going to be plenty for years to come after Helene dropped stuff everywhere. So. That's the beauty of having this saw here. This saw has just been amazing. This is the Agawa Boreal 15 saw. I mean, it's great. Wife got it for me 3 Christmases ago, I think. And man, I've put it to good use. It's great. All right, we are rolling. These are some of those trees that I was telling you about. I mean, it burns like paper, but it's super dry. You can put a lot of that stuff on there, and then you can even put some green wood on later. And of course, I brought a couple of beers. A Kugel Summer Shandy. I stocked up because they'll probably stop selling it soon in the grocery stores with winter coming. I didn't have to put them in the creek though. They just sitting out with it being 30-something degrees. Going to the higher altitude, man. Yep, it's good and cold. Cheers. Wow, it's been a busy day. Very busy day. So yesterday, I worked all day yesterday. Packed up all the gear last night, and then picked my wife up from the airport at midnight. So didn't get into bed till about 1:30 a.m. Woke up at 6:30 a.m. Was out the door about 7:15. And I made it here in good time. I mean, I was very happy. I had to take an alternative route here that I've never been on before. But the hike in was a little tougher than usual. Usually I just bulldoze through. But, you know, like I mentioned earlier, the deadfall created a lot of challenges. But, and of course, setting everything up, getting a lot of firewood, building a fire pit. Now I can relax. Drink this beer, and then I'm going to eat something. Got 4 peak refills for dinner. Dinner and lunch over the next couple days. Boy, that wind's picking up. So a new accessory I have for out here with me on these adventures is I purchased a wireless mic. So did some testing of it last night. It actually came in last night, and figured it out pretty quickly. It's just kind of a plug and play, and yeah, it's really amazing. When I make videos in my office at home, I have a terrible echo. No matter what I'm using, GoPro, regular camera, iPhone, it doesn't matter. But I hook the mic up, test it with my phone and my GoPro. No echo at all. It's just amazing. I just remembered I need to go hang the bear bag. I don't want to be doing that in the dark. I had to go find a tree. I think I see a couple trees here hanging over the creek. I'd like to hang it over the creek. Make a good limb right there. All right, that is a good spot. That's probably a good 150 yards, 200 yards. Maybe I'll step it off when I come back. All right, got that hung. Let me go show you where it is. And also so you can see what Helene did pushing all these trees down this creek. I mean, pretty amazing. Look at that wall of trees. No telling how far that came. The force of water. It's pretty amazing. See, I was here, I don't know, maybe about a year ago. A little longer than that. I haven't camped down here and I haven't fished down here about a year and a half. But man, this was not like this before. It's like completely changed the creek, this massive boulder field. Yeah, there was boulders here, but nothing like this. I think I can remember sitting on this big rock, either this one or that one there, having some breakfast or dinner one time. Yeah. The water that came down through here was crazy. Look at all that. That's where the bear bag's gonna hang. So no bear's gonna get over that. So sun setting. It's time to go eat. Nice little run through there. Just start there in the morning. And just go. Go and go and go. Good stuff. Yeah, I've camped right up there before, but you can see that large tree through there. It kind of blocks the view, so just pick the next good looking spot. So anyway, I'm gonna go finish my beer and cook some dinner. Oh, that's a juicy looking spot there too. Whew. Well, that wasn't very good. A little safety for you. This limb was underneath that right there. Gotta go get some more water now. And I have a little Peak Refuel American Buffalo Goulash. Hadn't tried this one yet, but looks pretty damn good. Ground bison with macaroni pasta and tomato herb sauce. Yeah, sounds pretty damn good. So we'll see. Yeah, that's good. American Buffalo Goulash by Peak Refuel. Yeah, that's very good. It's got some spice, got some salt, pepper, tomato. Yeah, it's very tasty. Very, very tasty. I'm going to tell you, I was hungry. I had coffee this morning on the way out here, a Cliff Bar, and a pack of tuna when I got to the campsite. And a beer. That's it. Good stuff. Actually got a little bit of beer left. I got another one in the creek, but you don't have to worry about it getting hot. It's still ice cold. Occasionally I get a bar on my cell phone, so I have to check and see what the temperature is. Let's see if it'll... Yep, it's showing 5G. Let's see what the temperature is. When I first got out here, it had a bar, but then it went away when it got real cloudy. It's probably not very strong now. Let's see. It's amazing you can get cell coverage here. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work. It's probably a false bar. Let's sit there a minute. Don't want to drop any food down here. I know the bears are not hibernating, so I saw plenty of bear hunters. I'm quite sure they're bear hunters because they had the dogs when I was driving in. I saw a pack of 6 trucks close to where I parked, and then coming in earlier on a couple of the other forestry roads, I saw 2 or 3 trucks there too. I mean, they could be running dogs for deer, but highly unlikely. I mean, it's bear season. They're not hibernating yet, so. But yeah, I always see them up here. Actually, this part of the Pisgah, and when I'm further west, I see them a lot. So, well, yeah, this thing's not gonna pull it up. So, oh well. Anyway, well, I'm going to finish eating here and then chill. I'm sure I'll call it a night early. It's 6:07 right now, so it's still very early. But anyway. With it going to be so cold tonight, I always bring plenty of coffee, but I don't want to drink coffee at night, so I want to be able to sleep. So I brought some tea. I just made some hot tea, and but I mean, I've got a good fire going. I've had that fire going, now it's 7:30. So good and warm. And got some hot tea here. So that hit the spot. I tell you, it is dark outside. I mean, it is really dark. Let's see, was that yesterday? There was about a 3/4 moon out. So, I mean, I guess it's still pretty early. So, it's probably going to be a moon out. So, but this day went just as planned. Figured it might be a little bit of an adventure to get out to the creek here. Since Hurricane Helene came through a couple of months ago. And yeah, it certainly was a little bit of a challenge, but I managed just fine. And spent a lot of time gathering firewood and, ate some dinner and just been sitting out here chilling. Every now and then the wind will gust. I mean, gust pretty hard. A couple of limbs just, right behind me fell hard. I was looking up. When I put my tent down, I made sure there was no, rotten limbs or anything like that. So I think I'm pretty good there. There's always a little twig might fall, but the wind's not supposed to blow heavy in the middle of the night, so hopefully that stays the course. I mean, that's always a high risk when you're at a campground. Yeah, the national forest, make sure everything is all the dead trees and limbs are always removed. Even when you stay at a Smoky Mountains backcountry campsite, they're designated. They do the same thing. They make sure everything is cut. But when you're just in the middle of the forest, you got to really make sure that you, get somewhere where you're not underneath a tree that's rotten or, there's limbs up in the tree. So, but. So earlier today, driving in, I know how to get to this area and I don't need my GPS, but I certainly ran the GPS for this trip, and it actually, identified 3 different routes. I was familiar with some of the roads, but I'd never been on those roads. One of them took me down some roads that I had been on before, but I was like, I'm going to take this other route. They were all about the same. And that was that. I chose the right route because I didn't know this, but as I was going down, went from a paved road, then it went to a forestry road, okay? And that forestry road was really hit hard. I would imagine that it took weeks and weeks for those roads to be cleared. I mean, there was trees everywhere. But as I got further, had to make a couple other turns, and then I discovered one of the roads I had to go on was a road that runs along a creek. And I've heard about that creek, and I've heard it's good fishing, but I have never gone and looked for it yet. There's just always so many other places I want to fish up here. But that road went along that creek, and that creek is beautiful. So a good portion of it is public land. So I'll definitely, it just runs right along the road, and it is absolutely beautiful. Real small, but a good clearance. It's kind of, to some extent, gorge-like. So I look forward to going back and fishing that creek. I've heard it's loaded with wild rainbow. But hey, that would be a lot of fun. You know, it's such beautiful water. And I think I can actually fish my long rod so I can get some good reach. But there was a lot of plunge pools, some good little runs and everything. So it was really good to go to a different route. And yeah, definitely fish that in the future. So, but anyway, I'm gonna finish this tea here and maybe have a little bourbon and probably get into bed early tonight. That's for sure. So, all right, I think I'm gonna call it a night. I hung the bear bag and actually hung my backpack. I normally don't hang my backpack, but earlier today, one of the beers I was carrying in was punctured. Yep, punctured by a twig, actually more than a twig, a short stick. I was crawling on my hands and knees under some deadfall, and then I kind of got caught, backed up, tried it again, and finally I got myself through, but as I was getting through, a sharp stick punctured that beer and shot beer all over the outside of my backpack and in the water bottle holder. Thank goodness it wasn't inside the backpack. So anyway, I took about 5 minutes and took the pack off real quick, got the beer out of there, and finished that beer off before it completely emptied out. But needless to say, my backpack, I'm not going to put it in my tent like I normally do, so it's hanging up with the food bag. There's no rain in the forecast anyway, so you know, I'm not worried about that. But anyway, I'm going to call it a night, and hopefully, you know, by late morning, temperature's up to close to 50, and we can get on some wild brown back here. Anyway, take care, and we'll talk in the morning. All right, an unexpected pit stop. So as usual, I always bring 3 or 4 beers. So as I'm hiking in here, there's deadfall everywhere. And so I had a tight squeeze, you know, under trees, over trees. And as I got through it, I smelled something. I'm like, what is that smell? And it was beer. You can see that hole right there. It got punctured in the pocket of my backpack. Luckily, that's on the outside, so nothing on the inside will get wet. But anyway, I'm not going to let that whole thing waste, so I was able to get it out of there, and I'm going to finish that beer off here right in the middle of the trail. So anyway, that's the way things roll out here. You never know what's going to happen.